We talk a lot about leadership, right? Strategies, results, all that stuff. But today, we're going to look at what really truly separates just a manager from a real leader. And it all boils down to a single, powerful idea that could completely change how you see your role, your team, and your own impact.
So let's just start with a really direct question. I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. When the pressure is on, when a crisis hits, what would your people actually do? Because their answer to that question reveals pretty much everything about the kind of leader you are.
And that's exactly what this is all about. See, leadership isn't a rank you're just given. It's a choice that other people make about you every single day. We're going to break down how you can become the kind of person that people willingly, even enthusiastically, choose to follow, especially when it matters the most.
So how do we actually build that kind of loyalty? Well, it all starts with our first big idea. Your number one responsibility as a leader is to build what's called a circle of safety.
So what is a circle of safety? It's basically an environment where people feel like they can be themselves, take risks, and speak up without being afraid. And here's the key part. It works in two directions. It shields the team from dangers on the outside, like competitors or market shifts, and it protects them from dangers on the inside, like petty office politics and infighting. The military has a perfect, real-world example of this. The rule that officers eat last? That isn't just some old tradition. It's a powerful, symbolic act. It sends a clear message to the troops. Your needs come before mine. I will sacrifice for you. That one simple gesture builds a foundation of trust that no motivational speech ever could.
And that really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? On a calm day, you don't really think much about a shield. But when the arrows start flying, a missed deadline, a budget cut, a difficult client, that's when everyone looks to their leader. Are you going to be the one standing in front, taking the heat and protecting them?
Now, this feeling of trust and safety, it's not just some nice, fluffy idea. It's actually hardwired into our biology. So let's take a look at the science behind why this all works. It's all about leading with chemistry. Our brains are basically wired with four main chemicals that drive our behavior and our feelings. You've probably heard of them: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Each one plays a really specific role in how we operate, and great leaders instinctively understand how to use them.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. You can split these four chemicals into two groups. Endorphins and dopamine, those are the selfish chemicals. They're all about personal achievement, crossing things off a to-do list, hitting a target. And yeah, they feel good, but they're for me. Serotonin and oxytocin, on the other hand, are the selfless chemicals. They create feelings of trust and belonging. So a leader who only focuses on targets is just hitting that dopamine button over and over, and that eventually just leads to burnout. True leaders create an environment that generates serotonin and oxytocin, the chemicals of real, lasting loyalty and resilience.
But just as you can lead with good chemistry, you can also lead with bad chemistry. And the cost of that kind of leadership is a toxic and very real reality for a lot of people.
When we don't feel safe at work, when we actually feel threatened by our own boss, our bodies flip into fight-or-flight mode, and they start pumping out cortisol, the stress hormone. Now, that stuff is designed to keep us alive in short bursts of danger, but it becomes completely toxic when it's our constant state of being at work.
And the results of a high cortisol environment? They're devastating. It leads directly to burnout because people are constantly on edge. It absolutely kills creativity because who's going to take a risk when they're afraid of being punished? And of course, it leads to high turnover. It basically destroys everything a great team needs to thrive.
Which brings us to probably one of the truest statements ever made in business. People don't quit jobs, they quit leaders. You can have a fantastic role, great pay, but if your leader makes you feel unsafe, you will eventually leave. They are the one variable that matters most. So, if leadership isn't about power or status, what is it? The ultimate answer is that leadership is an act of service. It's about having responsibility for people, not power over them.
This is the big mindset shift right here. Your title does not make you a leader. Your willingness to actually take responsibility for the well-being and the growth of the people in your care, that's what makes you a leader.
And if you want proof, there is no better story than that of Captain William Swenson. During a brutal ambush in Afghanistan, some helmet cam footage caught Captain Swenson running directly into the line of fire.
So why did he do it? It wasn't for a promotion, it wasn't for a medal. He did it because his people were in danger, and his first gut instinct was to run toward that danger to protect them. He was their shield. I mean, that is the purest definition of leadership you will ever find.
This analogy just captures the whole idea perfectly. On good days, when the sun is shining, the leader might just seem like part of the structure. You don't really notice them. But when the storm of a crisis hits, everyone under that roof realizes that the leader is the only thing standing between them and the chaos outside. Their strength becomes the team's safety.
So this brings us to the final choice. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's a practical decision that you have to make about the kind of person you're going to be.
It really all comes down to this. You can't put loyalty in an employee's contract. You can't demand it in a meeting. It is earned, moment by moment, through all the small and large acts of sacrifice that show your people you are there for them.
And so we end right back where we started, with a simple question. When resources get scarce, when the credit is being handed out, or when the blame is being assigned, will you serve yourself first, or will you serve your people? Your answer to that changes everything.
If you want to keep exploring how to become the kind of leader that people choose to follow, make sure you subscribe to UNLTD for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.